evening, fellow Toast. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. My name is Hena. I'm going to be Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Welcome to the 68th meeting of Speaking and Beyond Toastmaster Club. The mission of our club is to give supportive and positive learning experience where members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills. The topic for today's meeting, or the theme of today's meeting, is Fast, Feast, Repeat. The key to the whole thing is the up day following every down day. That is the part where you let your body know that you are not in danger when you are starving. Before we begin the meeting, let me set a few ground rules. Avoid any undesired sound, especially from your electronic devices. Refrain taboo topics like sex, religion, and politics. Appreciate if you keep your video on throughout the meeting because it boosts the confidence of the speaker. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anuja. She works in KPMG as a senior consultant, president of Speaking and Beyond Toastmaster Club, loves reading and listening to gazelles. She is also keenly interested in politics. With this, I hand over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anuja. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hina, for setting up the ground rules and giving such a warm start to the meeting. And so with this, I officially welcome you all to meeting number 68 of Speaking and Beyond Toastmasters Club. We have a couple of guests. Let me see if they can introduce themselves. Aakash is our speaker too, and he's also a guest as well. So Aakash, if you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuja. I'm Toastmaster Aakash. I am actually from Sunshine Toastmasters Club, and today I've come to Speaking and Beyond to prepare for the ISC and to practice giving a speech. So thank you.
That is wonderful to hear. I hope that with your speech, everyone in our club will be inspired, because next week we are going to have our club contest as well. So welcome to this meeting. And Siddharth, can you please unmute yourself and introduce to the club?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Siddharth Saxena. I am a research intern at Ramaya Institute of Technology, and I joined this meeting. This is like my first Toastmaster meeting. So looking forward to seeing how the proceedings go. So with that said, all the best to everyone here, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. We hope you like the meeting and you attend more of our club meetings. So I think we don't have any more guests. We have a wonderful theme today, which is, I think, about food and fasting. I don't know a lot about fasting because I just can't wait so long without having my food. And so when I was little, my mom used to keep those fasting for Tej, and there is another Savitri Puja. And I always used to think, how can she, be so energetic without having any sort of food for such a long time? And then the next day, when I used to see her, that she used to feel weak the next day. So it sort of, kicked in an anxiety in me that if I don't eat properly for a long period of time, I'll get dizzy or I'll feel weak. And hence, anytime that, I encounter a situation where I have to keep a fasting, I just start my day with a cup of tea. Like, even if it's a fasting day for me, I just can never leave my cup of tea. So I really want to know more about this wonderful topic. And we have an amazing Toastmaster with us who is going to take us through this topic. So Toastmaster Chiru is a software engineer turned HR professional. He's also a fitness enthusiast, having done marathons and cycling long distances. He also practices fasting as a mean to healthier lifestyle. And Toastmaster Chiru, we would really love to know more about this. So over to you, Toastmaster Chiru, and a huge round of applause to welcome him as the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anuja, for that story about the fasting which you have seen your mother do. So the topic, fast, feast, and repeat. I'm going to talk more about fasting today rather than feasting. Rather, we'll feast more on the speeches which Toastmaster Aakash and Toastmaster Trishya is going to give us. So what is fasting? Fasting, as per research, of course, it promotes weight loss, but I'm not going to talk about that much. But fasting is believed to trigger what is called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. It is believed to promote what is called BDNF. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. And also it increases the microbiome. Microbiome is the gut bacteria, which is present in not only in the gut, but all over our body, many microorganisms. So with that introduction about the topic of the day, I would like to introduce what we have on the agenda. Today we have two prepared speeches, one by Toastmaster Trishya and another by Toastmaster Aakash. And we also have table topic speeches followed by the evaluations. But first, let me introduce our general evaluator, Preeti. Preeti is a working professional and a mother of a teenage boy. She says life is running at super fast speed with a growing up kid. In the last few years, she has learned that we do not need to feed ourselves with so much food. So she is in the theme today. So there is, and also there is real power in vegetarian food. Over to you, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chiru, for that wonderful introduction. As the general evaluator today, my role is to evaluate the meeting from beginning till end and to give a comprehensive feedback at the end of the meeting. I will look upon what are the things that went well, what are the things that could have been better, and what are my takeaways. Since this is a very high responsibility job, I am being chaperoned by my, I would say, angels today. The angels are the grammarian, the listener, the R counter, and the timer. So for grammarian, the role is being played by my angel, Toastmaster Tulika. Toastmaster Tulika is a homemaker, and she's nurturing her kids to become responsible citizens. She has served as VP membership of our club twice and has taken numerous responsibilities and has made it work like a pro. This has also helped her become more confident. So let's hear from Toastmaster Tulika. Please come forward and introduce
Thank you,
your role.
Toastmaster Preeti. Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone. I'll be your grammarian of the day. Grammar forms the backbone of any language. It's only with the proper usage of grammar, any great speech can be understood or appreciated. As a syntax sentinel, I'll be making note of good usage of grammar as well as any wrong use and provide feedback at the end of the meeting. Today, the word of the day is salubrious, meaning promoting health or well-being. The synonymous of this healthful the rundown house to a more salubrious locality. The phase of the day would be alive and kicking. It means that it's functioning in a good way. I will urge participants to use the word of the day and phase of the day in their speeches. All the best, everyone. Hope the meeting is salubrious for all of us, and let's get it live and kicking. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, grammarian Toastmaster Tulika. Next, let's move on to our listener for today, who is Toastmaster Dr. Dilras. Dr. Dilras has participated in many speech contests. She has done essay writing competitions, mono acting, and performed in skits and drama in her school and college days. She is a pediatric surgeon by profession and is working at Government Mohan Kumar Mangalam Medical College and Hospital in Salem, Tamil Nadu. She has her own clinic too in Dharmpuri. She has to travel a lot daily for work, 130 kilometers up and down, but this does not dampens her spirit. She is an active Toastmaster participant and today playing the role of listener. Toastmaster Dilras, please come forward and introduce your role.
A very good afternoon, one and all. Good evening, one and all. It's a pleasant evening now. Nice to see you all here. And I'll be doing the listener role today, and I'll be watching you all. And that's it from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dilras. Next, we have our counter role played by Toastmaster Anuja, who's playing a dual role as presiding officer and our counter both. Toastmaster Anuja, please come forward and introduce your role to the audience.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Preeti. As my role as our counter, it's very easy to know because we all tend to make this mistake. This is one of the most frequently made mistake, and which is what we've come here to, make sure that we are using less of it. The crutch words, the repetitive words, the long pauses, the filler words. You all would have understood what I'm talking about. When we have to speak, we tend to start with, let me think about it. And that is what, with the role of our counter, we tend to reduce. We need to make sure that when we speak, our sentences are not filled with crutch words or filler words or unnecessary pauses, so that our sentence have that effect which it means to have. This, I would give one tip for this, which is before you make your sentence or before you deliver your sentence, just take 2 to 3 seconds of short pause, frame that sentence in your mind, and then speak it out instead of framing it on the spot. 2 to 3 seconds is enough for framing that in our mind and giving a very clear and alive and kicking speech at the moment as well. So I would be keeping an eye on all of you, and especially on our prepared speakers. I'll make a personal note and a general feedback for all the crutch words and the filler words that were frequently used in the meeting. So over to you, General Evaluator, and I'll give my report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuja. Let's move on to my last angel today, who's helping me in my GE role, who is Toastmaster Henna. She has graciously accepted to be timer today at the last moment. Thank you, Toastmaster Henna, for that. Please come forward and introduce your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. As a timer, I will time the table topics, speakers, former speeches, and evaluations. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to the specific speech times. Yeah, those giving their speeches, they should limit their time to 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. I'll raise the green card, and at 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green card, and at 1 minute, 30 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. I will present the meeting at the end of the, I'll present the report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, General Evaluator. Sorry.
Thank you, Toastmaster Henna. Just a clarification, what will be the evaluation timing?
At 5 minutes, green card, 6 minute, yellow card, right? Am I right?
Evaluation is 3 to 5 minutes.
Sorry. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card, and at 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hina, for that introduction. Now, let me and my team keep taking notes. I will come back at the end of the meeting with our report and findings. So everyone be aware that my team is watching you. And with this, let's pass on the baton back to TM OD Toastmaster Chiru.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for those one, and also your team for clarifying all the roles. Thank you so much. So before I give so the first point I want to introduce about the benefits of fasting is autophagy, which I spoke about briefly. Autophagy is our body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer and healthier cells. So basically what essentially this means is in our body, there are cells in millions of numbers. There are cells which bad cells. There are cells which get damaged over a period of time, but they remain in the body and they could also lead to illnesses. So fasting promotes autophagy. Fasting is one way of promoting autophagy. There are different ways of promoting autophagy anyways. And this is a natural way of cleaning out those unwanted cells from our body, and it also helps in generating newer cells. And hopefully these this way, not hopefully, certainly this is one way of becoming salubrious, I would say. So with that, I would like to introduce our evaluator of the day, because Sachin is evaluating both the speeches. So he's our evaluator of the day. Sachin has been our past president also, and he's a CA and IM Bangalore alumni. Currently, he is deputy CFO in a pharma company. He's a regular video blogger and posts his financial insights on YouTube and LinkedIn. He's also a gym enthusiast. Good to know, Sachin. And speaker in finance conferences. Over to you, Sachin. Toastmaster Sachin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day, Toastmaster Chiru, for a wonderful introduction. And good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So as a evaluator, the speaker is attempting the icebreaker speech. The speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. The member is completing their first speech in Toastmasters. The goal of the evaluation is to give the member an effective evaluation of their speech and delivery style. Because the icebreaker is the first project a member completes, you may choose to use only the notes section and not the numerical score. If you know you will be the evaluator ahead of the meeting, please speak to the speaker. So that's the note for the evaluator. With this, I'll pass on the virtual stage to Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Chiru.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Trishya will need no introduction from me, as she is delivering her icebreaker speech today, and she is going to tell us all about her. Over to you, Toastmaster Trishya, and all the best.
Thank you very much, TM OD Chiru. A very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Trishya Aakash, and I'm going to speak about a revelation of the transition in my life. So I come from a place called Salem in Tamil Nadu. I think I share the same place with Dilras, because I just heard that Dilras is also from Salem. Good to know you, Dilras. So my family has stayed in Salem for about 6 generations in the past. And it was me, the first creator who got an opportunity to move out of town for studies all the way to Delhi. And I graduated from Shriram College of Commerce, New Delhi. I am a commerce graduate. And now I work as an analyst with this startup called Provis Advisors, which is into strategic business consulting and investment banking. I stay in Bangalore currently, and I have two siblings, an elder brother named Nitin and a younger brother who is not even a human, but a dog called Simba. I love traveling, dancing, singing, and recently I've started to like reading books as well. So the hobbies list is basically never ending. I joined Toastmasters for the love of public speaking that I had, and I'm here today to admire and be curious. Now I'd like to take you all through a short story of my life. Could any of you guess the meaning of my name without looking at my video? My name is Trishya again. So the meaning of my name is noble class lady, which means a person who has qualities that people admire. Now, when I heard the meaning for the first time, all that I was able to think was, where in the world did this man, my father, find my name? Because it was so obvious that there has been a significant amount of research behind. Being unable to resist my curiosity, I went ahead and asked my father, you could have named me after a goddess or any other common theme. Why so much effort to it? And he jokingly replied, why not? We have given 2 more names for you after the goddesses' names. So in total 3? Yes, I have 3 names. As much as I thought my father was a fanatic, I was also quick enough to realize the excitement of a 13-member joint family. I am their first girl child. From being fed 2 eggs by my mom and auntie every day in the morning, till winning the cashew nut every single time while snacking with my grandfather in the evening, everything that I got was a little extra and special. I grew so close to everybody and became the most attached kid of the home. I got to spend the first 5 years of my life with the same people, the 13 members. And I should not deny that every single day was nothing less than a celebration. Suddenly one day, I heard that my family was going to split. It was a partition. And as a UKG kid, I had no idea where my home was lost. Although my parents knew that it would be me who would miss the home so much, they had to make the big step. And hence we moved to a smaller home. Needless to say, I was unable to accept that my family now was just my mother, my father, and my brother. I felt dejected. I felt as if I was being taken away from the place that I most belonged, and I started to hate everything around. Years passed by, and I just remained the same. I remember when I was in my 4th class, I got an opportunity to travel to Sabarimala. This place, if you would all be knowing, is this trekking place where you need to go with barefoot and lot of other adventures as well. So as a cranky little child I tried finding 1,000 excuses to not go. I even tried acting as if I was sick, but I was not able to help. I tried so hard to convince my parents, but in turn, My parents convinced me. And finally, I had to go. Now, to everyone's surprise, while going, I slowly started to like the vibe. And to the surprise of 16 members who came along with me, I was spearheading the entire troop by chanting the Lord's name so loud. We finally reached the top, and to my own surprise, I was not feeling like I need to complain about a single thing at all, because I started to get a wholly new perspective. And it was very simple. I just went with the flow once to realize that it was me who was conservative all this while, being unable to appreciate the change of home that was still a home with 3 people who were capable of lighting it up in their own beautiful way. All that my parents ever since did to make me feel loved made sense to me now, and I felt celebrated yet again. I'd like to conclude by telling, give changes a chance. I know it is easier said than done. Of course, all of us have our own ways of thinking and cannot be blamed of being conservative. But my dear friends, what is life without new experiences? What is life without hustle and excitement? So give changes a chance. Who knows? You might even witness a great Aladdin genie right at your door saying, "Your wish is my command, master." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Trishya. That was a wonderful icebreaker speech. You are not only a noble, you are also wise from that conclusion which you gave. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Trishya. And I wish you all the best for more speeches in future. Before I go to the next speaker, anyway, our evaluator is Toastmaster Sachin. I would like to introduce another fact about fasting. Fasting as well as exercise stimulates the production of a protein in the nerve cells called BDNF, which I spoke about, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein plays a critical role in learning, memory, and the generation of new nerve cells in the hippocampus. So BDNF also makes neurons more resistant to stress, which we all seem to suffer from these days. So fasting is is also a natural way in which we can promote not only autophagy, but also BDNF. With that, over to Toastmaster Sachin, our evaluator of the day.
Thank you, TM OD Toastmaster Chiru.
The evaluation will be shared towards the end. We can move ahead with speaker number 2.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. Yeah. So to introduce our speaker, number 2 of the day, Aakash. Aakash is past Vice President Education and President at Sunshine Toastmasters Club. He's also Assistant Division Director, Division G. He is currently an analyst at Goldman Sachs. He loves to read, listen to music, binge watch series, and watch F1. So he's on the fast lane. Over to you, Toastmaster Aakash.
Sorry, I think TM OD, first I have to give the guideline of the speech, and then first I have to give as an evaluator I have to give the guideline of the speech, and then the speaker will deliver the speech. So there's a gap. Yeah. So I'll first as an evaluator number 2, Toastmaster. Who is the speaker? Sorry, just a minute. Who is the speaker?
Toastmaster Aakash.
Yeah.
Akash.
Toastmaster Aakash is attempting the project L3P3. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. Again, the purpose of the speech for the member is to inspire the audience. Note for the evaluator, the member needs to present a speech that inspires the audience. The speech content should be engaging and the speaker entertaining or moving. The speaker should be aware of audience response and adapt the speech as needed. If the member appears to be talking at the audience instead of interacting with them, he or she is not fulfilling the goal of the speech. With this, I'll pass on the baton to Toastmaster Chiru. Over to you.
Thank you, Sachin. With the introduction I have already given about Toastmaster Aakash, I would like Toastmaster Aakash to start his speech. Toastmaster Aakash.
Today, the world is more uncertain than ever. Anything can happen. And I'm afraid to get hurt. That's why I always have a helmet on. Contest Master and my dear friends, good evening. I got this helmet. The first time this helmet came into my life was as a 10-year-old boy. An ordinary, lovely Saturday morning for everyone else, a grueling cricket coaching session for yours truly. Nothing much happened that day, except I reached the coaching venue 10 minutes late. I dragged my stuff to the ground, and the first person I went to was the guy with the whistle, Sergeant Coach. I go to Sergeant Coach and I tell him, "Sir, I'm so sorry I came 10 minutes late." Sergeant Coach was a nice guy. He was extremely touched by my apology. And he said, "Son, no need to apologize. Run 15 rounds of the ground now." He wasn't done. "Aakash, pad up. It's time for you to go to the nets. The older kids are going to bowl to you." "But sir," "No buts, go." So I go to the nets, I get ready. I go to the crease, I take position. The first person I see at the other end is this tall guy. Everyone else called him the spear. I said, "Great, the spear is going to bowl to me." The spear picks up the ball. He charges towards the crease and he bowls. A second later, I realized why he was called the spear. I don't remember much of what happened back then, except everyone else seemed to huddle around me. 15 minutes later, I was just seated in front of the nets, looking at the grass. Sergeant Coach approached me. "Son, are you okay?" "Yes, sir." "Yeah." "All right, son. Today was the first step in your cricketing journey. It doesn't matter what happened out there. It is the first step, and I'm sure that tomorrow you will do extremely well." I was surprised. My coach really did have that much faith in me. He thought I would become a very good cricketer in the future. And after the class, I go to my mom, I go to my dad, and I say, "Mom, Dad, I want to quit the coaching class." My mom, my dad, they were both baffled. My coach was baffled. "Why would you do that? Why would you quit coaching?" I said, "You know what? I'm done. People seem to think that I can play good cricket. I'm a good future cricketer and I can play cricket, but you know what? I can't. And really, people seem to think I can play, but I can't. And what if something happens out there? What if the ball hits me? And what if I die?" So that was the end to my cricketing journey with that one ball. I still kept my stuff though, as a reminder to what happened that day. And I still kept a helmet on me at all times and stayed in that safe zone because I was too afraid to get hurt. I kept a helmet on in school. When I was at school, I kept a helmet on. As I grew up, I kept a helmet on. When I turned 18, it was my first day in college.
many opportunities to make friends, many opportunities to get acquainted with the professors, but no, I had a helmet on and I didn't really meet people all that much. Fortunately, I got out of college with a job offer in my hands. Great, I got placed, which means I was no longer a child. College life was over, work life began. Friends, when I first started my job, I was dragged out of my world into the real world. And friends, I gotta tell you, the real world is so different. It is so scary. Anything can happen and I can get hurt at any time. Lots of terrible things that could happen to me. What if at work, what if someone yelled at me? What if I got my pay cut? What if I got fired? I was so scared of the real world. Friends, I thought my heart would stop. My house was filled with books. It was now filled with bottles. I went deeper and deeper. And good habits went away. Bad habits came. My house was a mess. My world was a mess. My life was a mess. And in that mess, I searched for the answers. I tried searching for a few things. I found many old things. I found my old clothes. I found my old books. I found my old stuff. And within that old stuff, I saw my old cricket stuff. I took a look at my gloves. I took a look at my pads. And on those pads, there was a small note that my coach had written, which said, "Don't depend on the helmet." For a message in fine print, that message was echoing really loudly in my head. Friends, I was stuck in this helmet for God knows long because I was afraid of the world out there. This helmet was so heavy, and yet I felt so comfortable in it. And as a result, I was afraid of facing what is out there. I was a weak child and I was nothing without this helmet. Friends, I removed this helmet and I wrote. As a reminder to myself, I wrote, "The world is waiting outside this helmet." And ever since I wrote that message for myself, I have never turned back. I got a new role at my work, which is far more stressful than anything I've ever seen before. I challenged myself at every avenue of life. I served as the president of a Toastmasters club. I'm serving as a club coach of another Toastmasters club to help them out. And I will always keep pushing and I will always keep striving to be a better person and to learn more about this world that I was so afraid about. Toastmasters and guests, today the world is more uncertain than ever. Anything can happen. And I am afraid to get hurt. I'm afraid. But I want to see this world. I want to travel. I want to meet new people and I want to make new friends. Because friends, the world is waiting outside this helmet. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aakash. That was a wonderful speech. You have told us through your speech that the only way forward is going through our fears. And quite rightly, all of us should take off our invisible helmets. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aakash. With that, I would like to introduce the last fact of the day for today about the theme of the day. Our body has trillions of microorganisms called the microbiome. These include not only the bacteria, but the fungi, the parasites, and the viruses. In a healthy person, these bugs coexist peacefully and play a key role in promoting the smooth daily operations of the body. It is actually quite surprising that for all of us to know, even when I came to know about this first, that it is just not us that our body is protecting us in all the organs in the body, but there are trillions of foreign bodies in our body which also help us run the function called the human body. And fasting is believed to increase the good bacteria and kill the bad bacteria in the human body. So another reason why fasting as a practice would promote health in all of us. With that, I would like to introduce our table topic master of the day, Toastmaster Anoop. Anoop is based out of Bangalore. He has been working in the financial and capital markets for the last 12-13 years, and he believes his expertise lies there. He spends his weekends traveling, binge watching, binge drinking, binge eating, which basically means eating a lot, feasting, and a little reading also. Thank God for that. Top of his bucket list is watching the dance of magical lights, Aurora Borealis. I hope I said that right, Anoop. Over to you, Toastmaster Anoop.
Thank you, Chiru. Thank you for a very nice introduction. And also, Chiru, thank you for all the kind of tips which you had given me today morning. Frankly, to all the Toastmasters, this is my maybe a second or third session. And while taking up this, I have seen Ms. Preeti has actually how she has done it in the previous session. I'm not so sure whether I will be able to cope up with the standards at which she has done, but let me try my best on that. Chiru, one more thing. I have actually reached out to Kevin also, but let me tell you, like he's feasting there. He's attending a couple of marriages, and actually like he's having a gala feast. So please call him up and make him understand the advantages of fasting also. Having said that, actually coming to the table topic for today, we all would have heard about like roses are red, sky is blue, and my love for you is only true. Oh, sorry. I have not still gotten over the actually hangover of Valentine's Day. What I meant to say was roses are red. So does that mean that actually like roses are only red? Why are we actually compartmentalizing all the things? We have been hearing quite a lot of proverbs. We have been quite a lot of actually sayings also pertaining to it. So all the topics which I would like to put it across is maybe a kind of a old saying or a kind of an actually old proverb. And let us try to see like everything is right from a different perspective. For example, just to give actually clarify more on that, I won't take too much of time of it, but just to give a clarification on the topic, when I say roses are red, what has the rose done, or what has the white rose done, or what has the color white done? Let us put it into a different perspective. I mean, doesn't mean that you have to actually like point out only on that particular topic. It can be related to anything wherein which a commonly said thing, you are having a different perspective on that. What I mean to say, or what I try to achieve from this is nothing is right or nothing is wrong. Everything has to be viewed from the kind of perspective in which it has to be viewed in. Then you will find that actually there is nothing really wrong or right. So having said that, may I invite any of the volunteers? I think I have chosen a pretty bad topic. It is abstract topics, but anyone can take it to the level which they want it to, not necessary to this topic. I mean, roses are red doesn't mean that you have to speak about roses. You can speak about actually like anything in which you feel like actually the normal perception doesn't really exist. I mean, the normal way of looking at the things is not the right way. Maybe a different angle can give you a different viewpoint. Having said that, any volunteers, please? Hi, Preeti.
I will like to take a stab. I will like to take a stab.
Thank you, Preeti. No better person to start is actually other than you. So,
so if I understand the topic correct, you want me to speak about how we have always said roses are red.
I would give a different topic, but related to the same actually reference things basically. So the topic which I would like to mention is that actually rabbit and tortoise race, in which we also has actually the underlying aspect of it is persistence is the key and speed is not the key. So I would like you to talk about, like, in today's age, it's not only the persistence and speed equally matters. Over to you, Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop. If I understand the topic correct, you want me to speak about persistence and speed both matter at the same time. Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop. Today, the world has changed a lot. And with COVID, we have seen numerous changes happening and at a very fast pace. I had read a report that the technology would mean that we all workers would go remote by 2025. But Corona made sure that this transition happened much earlier. This is talking about speed and how a scenario like COVID made sure that we come up to speed. But talking about persistence, we have seen persistence in the way we have dealt with a scenario like Corona. I must applaud the persistent effort of our health line workers who were at the front end battling this deadly virus, which was not seen before. And here at this scenario, I saw that persistence and speed mattered the most, because the health line workers could not afford to lose a minute, a second to save anyone's life. Here we have Dr. Dilras, who is from healthcare industry and is a doctor herself. And I appreciate the efforts that our medical fraternity has put forward to bring us out of this pandemic. And my salute to all of them. Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you for bringing in the perspective of headline workers and how it matters, like the speed and persistence, which matters the most. I would like to put across one more thing pertaining to it. Maybe for a marathon runner, persistence matters, but for someone like an Usain Bolt, it's not the persistence, it's the speed matters, or maybe a mix of it, which matters in that perspective. So nothing can fit actually all the circumstances or all the situations. Having said that, Sachin, if you are comfortable, may I invite you for the second topic?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Sachin. So second topic is, we all have heard about, like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So it simply implies, like, when you are there part of a different group, which is of a different ethnicity or anything from your normal ones, then just try to replicate what they do. But having said that, my question over here is it really required? Because in today's world, we all know that actually everyone need to appreciate others' culture and others' way of actually upbringing and everything. So in that sense, do we really need to change to the way in which actually as they do, or is it understandable that actually everyone has got their own way of upbringing and their own way of doing the things? Over to you, Sachin.
Good evening, Toastmaster and guest, and thank you, Toastmaster Anoop, for giving a wonderful topic. Now, this topic can be presented in two ways. I'll present it with the context to the corporate world. I have worked in companies like GE, which has got a different culture. Then I moved to IBM, which entirely was a different culture. So each company has got its own culture, and important to be successful while you are changing a job is to embrace the culture. You cannot carry the burden of the old company and say that the culture of the old company was good. You may be a great performer, but if you don't mold yourself into the new culture of the new company, you are going to fail. For example, I'll compare the culture of G with my current company. G was a very open culture where we were given all the freedom to speak against your manager, to voice our dissatisfaction against the manager. We could go to HR and show our discontent. But in the current company where I am, it's a promoter-driven company, and my boss is the promoter. And the point is, if I am unhappy, I can't go to any HR. So you have to keep in the current company, I have to keep my boss satisfied. So the culture of the current company is totally different. And to be successful, I have to embrace this culture to make my boss happy, to keep him happy, because I can't go and complain against him because I'm in a senior management role. So the culture of different companies change, and we have to embrace ourselves. Same thing I'll implicate to, let's say you move to a different country. In India, we have I'll say, a very good culture of meeting with people, greeting people, respecting others' opinion, and have a freedom of speech, right? But let's say you go to a country like UAE, or let's say Saudi Arabia. I'll give an example of when I went to Qatar. When I went to Qatar, I was told don't take a photo in public, because if you take a photo and if a woman comes in front, then you'll be in trouble. See, if she complains, then you'll land up in prison. So we have to accept that culture, and we cannot be so open in Middle East countries. So we have to accept that culture, and we have to be very, very conservative there, respecting their values, their traditions. We cannot go and just, had I gone in Kuwait and Qatar and taken the photos, then I would have been in trouble. So definitely, when you are in Rome, you have to do what the Romans say. We have to accept their culture, and see, every culture has got its own merits and demerits. So we should not go and challenge the culture. Rather than, it's better we accept the culture, accept the good things about the culture, and don't take the bad things, ignore the bad things, but be positive, see the good things only. Then only you will accept that culture. Let's not try to be too critical about the new culture, new cities, new countries. There are good things, there are bad things. As a reasonable man, we should take the good things, ignore the bad things. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Anoop.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you for narrating this from your own personal experience. And again, one thing which I found interesting about what you said was actually what happens in Middle East countries. There, even the speed cameras are actually like taken from behind the vehicle. In most other countries, it will be taken from the front side, whereas in Middle East countries, it will be taken from behind, for the reason that actually if it's a woman driver, her photo should not get captured. So that is the whole reason for that. But having said that, we all live in actually a world of equality, and even Saudi Arabia also is changing from what it was earlier. And maybe we can see that actually this sort of things may open up for good or change for good. Having said that, the next person I would like to invite is Ms. Tulika. So if you are comfortable, may I give you the topic?
Yes, Anu.
Right.
Please.
So, Tulika, the topic is an early bird catches the worm. So, what is wrong with the worm actually who has spoken? Who has waken up a bit early? Just wanted to maybe like if you can touch upon like a old concept like waking up early is really good. If you can just throw some light onto that, actually there is nothing wrong on waking up late and sleeping, and waking up late and sleeping late kind of a thing. It will be great.
Thank you, Anu, for the topic. I, being a health inclined person, basically, I am a sort of person who actually follows a lot of rules, regulation when it comes to my daily routine and stuff like that. I'm an early riser. Ever since I was a kid, my father has always asked me to get up early, no matter if it was a vacation or a school day or anything. I was never allowed to sleep after 6 a.m. Be it any day. So I've grown up with that kind of a thing, and I've got up early. Yes, waking up early has its own benefit. Now I am living with a Gen Z, my daughter. She is entirely different. She says, Mama, I only feel like working at night. That's what she says. I mean, I'm at the best at night. Uh, Yesterday, I saw her at around 11:45 and she was studying. I said, Beta, you can sleep. You can get up early and study. That's what I used to do. But she said, Mama, I'm at peace right now. Let me study. And I had to give it. I could not just force her. So it came to realize that yes, things have changed, and you cannot just be forceful with the things that you have been doing and ask everyone to do it, or you can say that only that was right. It's not necessary what was said earlier was right and will always be right. People change, scenarios change. Yes, during the day nowadays, people are so engrossed with the phones they have got. We are in contact with who not. We are in contact with from our batchmates to our colleagues to our family. Everybody is in touch with us. Everybody's poking us. We might not concentrate on what we want to do. Actually, maybe night time is now the peaceful way time to when we can take out our potential, our imagination, and we can work. We can be actually concentrate on what we are doing. So things change, and that's my take on the topic. Thank you. Over to you, Anoop.
Thank you, Tulika. Thank you for bringing in light, like both are good. In fact, just to mention an example, we all know the great music composer A.R. Rahman. He generally works at night. I mean, like he doesn't actually do any sort of a composition or related things actually during the daytime. I mean, this is something which I have heard of, not I have personally witnessed. I didn't have the liberty to actually personally witness that. So this is something actually which I have heard from very close sources who has worked with him. In fact, I believe like there are great geniuses also who do the other way, like actually work at night and actually sleep during the day on that front. And having said that, may I invite Mr. Aakash for the next topic?
Yeah.
Hi, Aakash. So I would put across a topic like actually two heads are better than one. We have heard about. We have also heard about like actually too many cooks spoil the broth. So which side are you, and can you put a little limelight into this?
All right. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the topic. Am I audible?
You're audible.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for this topic, and good evening to everyone once again. We've heard two sayings: two heads are better than one. We also heard too many cooks spoil the broth. Problem is, it depends on which one. For me, I believe in the saying two heads are better than one because we are focusing on only two people rather than one people. But when it comes to too many cooks spoil the broth, that saying implies that instead of two people, you've got 20. Now, whenever there's a task at hand, if there's one person who's doing it, maybe that task gets completed. If there are two people that are doing that task has a better chance of being completed. When there are 20 people completing that task, it's a problem because person A is going to have some view, person B is going to have some view, person C is going to have some view. There are going to be fights between person E, F, and G. There are going to be fights between a person H, I, J, K. There are going to be fights between many other people, and ultimately the task does not get resolved because there's a rivalry between people within the same team. So too many cooks do spoil the broth. That's true. Two heads are better than one. That is also true. For me, it's not one saying that I believe in, but it's actually both sayings that I believe in because both sayings do make a lot of sense to me personally. So thank you, and back to the tabletop master.
Thank you, Aakash. In fact, you meant in a way that actually synergy is more important. And if there are too many cooks also, if there are proper synergy that exists between them, then that is the right thing actually to happen. Thank you, Mr. Aakash. And may I invite Ms. Trishya for the next topic?
Sure, Toastmaster.
Hi. Trishya, it's slightly related to investments and related aspects since you have mentioned like actually you're working in an investment banking firm. It's a very simple old thing which says that actually don't put all your eggs in one basket, but do you really need to do that if you have 100% conviction on something? Over to you.
analysis, financial analysis. So I think, Warren Buffett always says, diversify your portfolio and share it across multiple revenue streams, that you wouldn't end up losing all the eggs in the same bucket. So the idea here is, I think, Anoop, that, as much as what I understand about stock market, it is all 50% effort or 50% analysis that you put, and 50% luck as well. So there is no one stock that you can bang on really and tell that this is definitely going to fetch me good returns, and there is no one stock you can promise that it is definitely going to fall in the next couple of days. I think I recently read somewhere in this book called Psychology of Money that nothing is as good or as bad as it looks like, which means to say exactly what I meant. So it is important for us to understand that there is a factor of luck, and both in markets, stock markets, as well as in life. And at the same time, take risks in a calculated manner by taking the advices of investors, great investors like Warren Buffett, because he has basically accumulated so much of wealth after turning some 80s or 84. So he has definitely gotten a good amount of knowledge. So I think it's not bad to take his advices and allocate our money in a manner that we are capable of taking the risk that we are looking ahead of. So I think it is important that we spend only the money that we have and take calculated risks. That's all my submission today, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Trishya. Thank you for throwing light into Warren Buffett's actually beautiful principles which he applies. But at the same time, he also, like, actually when he invests, he heavily invests. I mean, like, he doesn't put eggs into too many of baskets, but diversify into a few. So that was a really great quote which have actually like put it across over here. And in fact, Psychology of Money, the same book speaks about like Japanese stock markets, how it has stopped in actually 1990s and it has not reached that levels even till now. So having said that, actually these are beautiful examples which you were able to put across. Thank you, Trishya. Thank you for that. And maybe one last topic, we are running out of time. So maybe like, I don't know whom I have not called. So if you can please volunteer, it will be great. Anuja, if I may request you to actually take up the last topic of the day.
Sure, Toastmaster Anoop.
Hi, Anuja. So the topic is that actually, if it is not broke, then don't fix it. But when we say that, actually, is it really right in today's scenario? You need to let go of the things if it is working fine. Is it correct?
So I do believe in the fact that it's not always necessary that when things break or when it becomes to its worst self, only then you should throw it. If it's perfectly fine, but it's not serving the correct purpose, you should go ahead and throw it out of your life. That's the motto that I believe in. And I think there is an expiry period of everything. Even if like principles or morals or values in life or certain people in your life, there are times when that someone is being toxic for you. Just their presence is not serving the purpose or is hampering you to grow in your, is making you a good human being. That person is not making you a good human being. It shouldn't be like you go to that stage where you are just handling the toxicity of whether it's a person or a thing, or you are just, going below the standards that you have set for yourself. But sometimes you need to just go ahead and be strong enough to remove and set up a boundary for yourself. It doesn't needs to go to a bad level. It doesn't needs to just destroy you or destruct something in your life. Sometimes very calmly you can realize that it's now time to let certain things go out of your life and welcome new things, welcome new thoughts, welcome new sort of whatever sunshine, if I can say, it's bringing in your life. So I think before we used to feel that you shouldn't break things, and we used to, for example, I'll give a concept. We used to look down upon the Westerners because they had higher divorce rates. We used to feel that, because they are breaking a relationship, and they are not good at maintaining relationships. But as we are progressing in our society, we are seeing that now people have set a standard for themselves. Now a lot of women, now a lot of men, they are not, that easy to just manipulate. They don't want to take that disrespect or take that toxic form of relationship in their life, and hence they take the step to, break away or drift apart. And I think that serves better purpose for them as well, for their family as well, because it gives you peace. So it just means that if it's breaking, it's not just the time to throw it. If it's not serving its purpose, if it's not good for you, you can move on. It's perfectly fine.
Thank you, Anuja, for bringing in a very wonderful theory over here that actually remove the toxic or negative things out of your life. You don't have to tolerate that beyond a point. But having said that, when I put across that topic, I thought like maybe a current process which is going on, maybe like a something official process which is going on, which is going smooth. We could actually like still improvise that or still take it ahead. So everyone, so what I mean to say in this is, from everyone's perspective, even a topic and the perspective they view at it is different. For all the topics which I have put it across, we all have come across with actually completely different. So the entire point, I once again repeat, I want to put it across is that nothing is right, nothing is wrong, unless and until you completely in that perspective or you fall in that particular situation and figure out which is correct and which is not. And from that, I would like to actually hand over to General Evaluator, Ms. Preeti.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Anoop. So I think it is time for the TM OD Toastmaster Chiru to wrap up. Would you like to say anything?
I would like to thank both the speakers, Toastmaster Trishya, wishing her all the best for her icebreaker speech, and also Toastmaster Aakash. And also I would like to thank the entire evaluation team for their work today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chiru. Now, it was a pleasure to listen to the awesome speech and the table topics we had. I will come back to my general evaluation as we go forward. Before that, let me introduce the evaluator who is going to share his insight on the speech delivered today. Toastmaster Sachin, please come forward and give your evaluation.
Thank you, G Madam Toastmaster Preeti. And I'll request all the members and guests present to give a standing ovation to Toastmaster Trishya for completing her icebreaker speech.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Hats off to Trishya for a great speech. It never appeared to be an icebreaker speech. You are so much confident. You had so much energy. I feel that you are a very seasoned Toastmaster. That's a great quality, and it gives a clear message that you have arrived in Toastmasters. And you have to go. You will be going a long way in Toastmasters if you keep on trying and delivering speech after speeches. I'm sure. Now let me summarize your speech. Every speech has three parts: introduction, body, and conclusion. Your introduction was where you introduced about yourself, that you're born in Salem, that you moved to Delhi for education, went to Siram College of Commerce and became an investment banker. Then came the body part where you have weaved a story. I'll say you have spoken about your story. That what was the meaning of your name, and that you loved loved a family of 13 members, how being a first kid, you are pampered, and how you got everything extra being the first kid, and how every single day was celebration. At the same time, you have expressed the sadness when you came to know about the split of your family. And then about your trip to Sabrimala, where you refused to go, but then your parents convinced yourself. And then during the trip, you realized that change is good. And that was the time when you accepted the change. That was the body part. And then comes the conclusion. What a powerful message. You give a chance, give change a chance, and embrace the change instead of resisting the change. What a powerful message. A great speech which had great introduction, good body, and great conclusion. Now, let me tell you where the areas where you excelled at. You had lots of energy. You are not nervous being your first speech. You always had a smiling face, a good body movement, voice modulation, good body gestures. You showed your sadness by lowering pitch of your voice when you came to know about the partition of the family. It was really well done. If I can speak about some of the improvement areas, you need to be within the time limit of 4 to 6 minutes. Time is very important in Toastmasters, and you overshooted the time. I think it was 7 minutes something. So please be careful, and you have to pace your speech in such a way that you complete within the given time slot. Apart from that, being a icebreaker speech, I don't see much improvement areas as of now. As and when you progress over the journey of Toastmasters, you will be given a lot of feedbacks. But as a beginner, your speech was a great one, and you have shown all the qualities of a great orator. Thank you, Toastmaster Trishya, again for a wonderful speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin.
Over to you, G, Madam Toastmaster Preeti.
Toastmaster Sachin, you can continue with the evaluation of speaker number 2.
Okay, thank you again for giving the opportunity of becoming evaluator for Toastmaster Aakash as well. Toastmaster Aakash, hope you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a great speech, and I can sense that you are a seasoned Toastmaster. You have nicely mentioned how your first day on cricket net instilled fears in you and made you wear helmet for a longer time of your life. And you quitted cricket, always wore helmet after that. Then you got a job, and you're afraid of the corporate world, pay cuts, being fired from the job, and then how your life become a mess. Then the realization comes, and then you realize that you should not. World is waiting outside the helmet, and you should not wear the helmet always. Go and face the world, right? And then you landed a new role which was challenging. You also served as a president. You strive to be a better person every day. And then comes this was the body, and then comes the conclusion that the world is uncertain and anything can happen. So go ahead and enjoy life. World is waiting outside. Embrace the new things. Don't be afraid of new things. There are a few things which was expected from you in this speech. Whether it was interactive or only talking, the speech was very interactive and it was very engrossing. You were successful in inspiring the audience. The speech was engaging, and I was totally engrossed in your speech. It was really a great speech. Now, on the improvement areas, I could not see your video on. Maybe I don't know about the other members, but I could not see your video on. So I could not notice your body gestures. And according to me, had I seen you on the video, this speech would have attended different level, and you could have connected to the audience very well. But it's not your fault, maybe some technical glitches. So apart from that, it was a great speech, very inspiring, very engrossing, very engaging. Thank you, Toastmaster Aakash, for a wonderful speech. Over to you, Toastmaster G, Madam, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin, for that great evaluation. Now let me bring upon my angels to give you a view of how you performed today. Let me begin by calling my grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Tulika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. So I'm back again with my report. As a grammarian, this is my first time I have been taking the role. So I don't know if my grammar is that good that I could point others' mistakes. There are a few good usages of the language that I found in the meeting today, which is like went with the flow, nothing less than a celebration, or especially I loved the line, give changes a chance, which I'm surely going to take away. And then there were some creative usages, like take out invisible helmets. Bringing good examples into the speech was also very much a good thing. And the line which like charges towards the crease, it showed how the intensity of the bowler at that time. So I really liked the way it was put. I could not find much of incorrect usages, but it was I was not able to help. I think it should have been it could not, efforts are good enough. So you said it could not help. Apart from that, I could not really take out much of incorrect usages. The word of the day was used twice and the phase of the day was used once, apart from what I said. So this is it more from my side. Over to you, GE. Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tulika. Now let's move on to our next evaluator for today, which is the R counter by Toastmaster Anuja.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Preeti. So now this is another one counter word. So I started my sentence with so that's one word for me, which is a filler word. But apart from this, we had a wonderful session. There were not a lot of crutch words or filler words used. It was normal as compared to a general meeting. I would really like everyone to, give a good round of applause for our prepared speakers, Toastmaster Trishya and Toastmaster Aakash, because it was minimal. Like I couldn't find a lot of words or filler words. There was one long pause in Trishya's speech. It may be a part of a speech, but if you can just, make it short, only till it's required. And Aakash, congratulations, there were no filler words. Sometimes you did repeat one or two words, but that was just because of the flow of your speech. That was not a crutch word. So congratulations to both of you for that wonderful performance. The table topic speakers, as we all know, speaking on the spot comes with a lot of crutch words, filler words, repetitive words. So we still did a good job. There were few ahs and ums by all the speakers. No one was spared there. But overall, I wouldn't give a count of everyone because we did a good job and we'll continue to do a good job. It was a wonderful session, but we can just make sure that we don't start our words with so and minimize the use of word also. When we don't find a conjunction word, let's not, put also there to just continue the sentence. Let's try to find different words and the correct start of sentence rather than starting it with and, so, or also. Thank you so much, and over to you, Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuja. That was a wonderful report for our counter. For our timer report, please refer to the chat session today. Toastmaster Hina, Toastmaster Tulika, and Toastmaster Trishya have contributed to our timer report. Moving on to my last angel, which is Dr. Dhilras. Dr. Dilras, over to you as your role for being a listener.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. A very nice session as usual. And I would like to ask some questions to know whether all were present in the session. May I, with your permission? Yes. Which Toastmaster mentioned about BDNF and what was that?
Toastmaster Aakash.
No.
Toastmaster
Chiru.
Yes. Toastmaster Chiru, he said about BDNF, which was brain-derived neurotropic factor. And what was the meaning of the name Trishya? She mentioned about that.
Noble woman.
Noble lady.
Noble lady.
Noble class lady, right? Right, Trishya?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Correct.
And how many siblings did she have? She mentioned how many siblings did she have?
Yeah,
Two.
two, out of which one is not human.
Yes. What was the name of that?
Come on.
One hint is the name of a Hindi movie which was recently.
Simba.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice, very nice. In so nice. And which college did she complete her graduation?
Shriram College of
Shriram
Commerce.
College of Commerce.
Yeah,
SRCC, yeah.
super. And she gave a punchline at the conclusion of a speech. That was very powerful.
Give change a chance.
Change a chance.
Fantastic. Okay. And which profession was speaker number 2, Aakash, was speaking about?
Engineer, software engineer.
Sorry, which sport he was
Cricket.
talking?
Cricket.
Yes, exactly. His coach said to Aakash a word, very powerful phrase. What was that?
Do not depend on the helmets.
Do not
Exactly.
depend on that.
And Aakash realized something, and he said he realized something, and he put he put it as a message. What was the phrase?
Remove the helmet. And
Remove the
see world.
invisible helmet.
That was one thing. But the thing which he said was the world is waiting outside the helmet.
Yeah.
The whole world is waiting outside the helmet. And Sachin, Toastmaster Sachin, you should not answer this because this is relating to in which companies had he worked?
GE,
GE and IBM.
GE and IBM.
Yeah, exactly. And what is the name of Toastmaster Tulika's daughter? She mentioned.
Doll.
Geet.
No.
Geet.
Gen Z, she said. Am I right?
Gen Z is not her name. It's the Generation Z, which
Oh.
people call themselves.
Okay, fine. And diversify yourself. Who said like that?
Toastmaster Sachin.
Toastmaster Trishya, when talking about putting eggs, do not put eggs in one basket.
Yeah, exactly. She mentioned that. It was actually said by Warren Buffett.
Oh, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So maybe Trishya is our future Warren Buffett. Yeah.
She's the investment banker, right?
Maybe
we
have to approach her for our investments and the things, and that too for income tax, all these things. Now maybe Trishya, she can help us. And the last one, the last one of the day is like, who said remove toxic things from your life?
Toastmaster Anuja.
Yeah, that was wow. Everyone was very attentive and listening to the speeches and the talks. I'm very happy, and that's it from my side. Back to Toastmaster Preeti.
Thank you, Dr. Dilras. Please give a round of applause to my angels. Now let me go back to the beginning of the meeting. The meeting began on time with just 2 minutes of delay because we gave time for everyone to join in. That was conducted by Toastmaster Henna. Next, we had the introduction by our presiding officer, the ever lively Toastmaster Anuja, who made sure the meeting guests were made comfortable, and we had encouragement and support from her as a president. Next, the TMOD Toastmaster Chiru. I must congratulate you for a fantastic TMOD session on your first attempt. Please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Chiru. And I must tell you, the topic was very, very engaging and interesting. I wished that we had more, we could hear more on the topic, and we could hear more from you, because you came across a person who was very informative and had a lot of knowledge on the subject. But given the fact that we had limited time, it was not to be, but yes, it was a session that kept us hungry for more, not from a food perspective. And next we had a table topic session by Toastmaster Anoop. Please also one more time, the first timer on table topic, and please give a round of applause for conducting it so very well. I must tell you, Toastmaster Anoop, you have great way of putting across questions in a conversational style, which made sure everybody was engaged, was glued to the screen, and would want to know more about the subject that you were throwing at them. Yes, I found the topics became a little complicated at some end, but you made sure that the abstract topic, you made sure that you gave an angle to it for everyone to speak about, which I thought was great. Thank you for the engaging table topic session. Thank you, Toastmaster Anoop. Next, we had our speakers for today, Toastmaster Trishya and Toastmaster Aakash. Well, Toastmaster Trishya, I think you deserved the standing applause that you got today for giving a great icebreaker speech. You have given us confidence that there will be great Toastmasters, great orators coming out of this club, because right at the beginning juncture of your speech, you were bang on. You were so, I had noted down, you were so confident, humorous, and you brought in great emotions, which connected to the audience. And just work on the time factor and you will be doing great.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Toastmaster Aakash, thank you for coming to our club and delivering your speech. You had such a great engagement and a great way of giving your speech. We found the disconnect in the form that you had two cameras on, one in which your video was showing, and from the other one, your audio was coming out, which might have caused a little bit of confusion for people who were looking at the screen from a speaker view and versus people who were looking at from a gallery view. So I would just recommend that you make sure that you give your evaluators information and knowledge that how you will be taking your session, which will help you give them a great evaluation. Apart from that, I must say that you had excellent voice modulation, and needless to say, you are a great storyteller who can connect with the audience. And your narration of the transition from a college life to real world, I thought it was absolutely superb and kept the audience hooked and glued to the screen. Congratulations on your speech. Thank you so much. Next, the evaluator, Toastmaster Sachin. Toastmaster Sachin, thank you for taking up the dual role of evaluation today. Thank you for being so much of sport. You had encouraged the icebreaker speech today. You gave her wings to fly. You summarized the speeches so very well. I think your encouragement as an evaluator to the speakers today will help them become better speakers, and that's what the aim of Toastmaster evaluator is. So thank you for that. One suggestion for you is that you can look at the camera when you're speaking, which will bring about a connect with the audience. And apart from that, I thought you were absolutely great. Thank you so much. So this is the end of our session today. I would like to thank all the participants who came in today. One suggestion to all the participants is to keep looking at the camera, because this is a virtual forum and we want to make sure that we are not losing the connect with the audience. Thank you for the engaging session, and this is the end of it. Thank you to Toastmaster Anuja. I will now let our presiding officer, Toastmaster Anuja, take the forum and give us the parting words. Over to you, Toastmaster Anuja.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Preeti, for wonderfully conducting the general evaluation section. And I would say that the meeting today was a blend of newbies and veterans, managing it and balancing it through all, with the role takers like TM OD and TTM by the first timers, Toastmaster Chiru and Toastmaster Anoop, and our speaker as well, Toastmaster Trishya, it was an icebreaker speech, and they ruled it. They rocked it very well. They managed the whole show quite well. And also it was supported by veterans, Toastmaster Preeti, Toastmaster Sachin playing the role of both the evaluators, and Toastmaster Tulika playing the role of grammarian and timer, supported by everyone who was able to take the time, Toastmaster Trishya as well. So this is the kind of session that, I love to attend. It's not, as I always believe, it's not the number of people in a club that matter. It's always the quality of a club that matters. Even if 5 people are there to run a show and to encourage people to speak well, to become good speakers, to become good leaders, our job here is being done. We don't need anything else than that. And I hope we keep this encouragement, this support in each and every meeting. It just shows that even if we have less role players, we can divide the work, we can make sure the session goes smoothly. And as Toastmaster Dilras would have seen, everyone was glued to the screen and listening to each and every word by all the role takers. So a fantastic job done by the team. Very good. And next week is our club contest, international speech contest, club level. And I'm hoping that everyone who has completed level 2 is going to participate in that and come up with amazing speeches, because we know that we are capable of delivering amazing speeches for ISC. And those who are not capable of competing in ISC club level, and if you really want to, you are in level 2 first speech or level 1 last speech, and you want to make sure you compete by next Sunday, reach out to Kevin, your Vice President Education, or Mazahir. Get roles or get speech slots in other clubs, so that you are eligible to take part next Sunday, and you complete your level 2 speeches before that. And those who still cannot take part, I would love to have you, conduct the club contest, be a part of the team, be a part of the contest planning team. And there will be more info on that. And to all the participants, all the best, and have a wonderful contest preparation ahead. Take all the help you need from your ex-coms, from your mentors. Reach out to seasoned Toastmasters that you might have seen in the club, and all the best, everyone. So thank you. And with this, we officially end today's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank